Look, even if we break someone's whole.
Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Amin. I speak about my writing journey, which includes writing, reading, illustrating and anything else that relates to the project I am working on. I'm currently working on Project Emerald, which is a fantasy novel, and I am in the early stages of writing draft 0. This is the first manuscript I've ever written, so it is all the learning curve and it's been fun so far and I'm excited to continue the journey. During this video and over the next couple of days to a week, I am going to be embracing winter. I am going to be making the most of it because we are moving into the next season shortly. Now, I am a spring and summer girl, but this past autumn and winter has been my favorite autumn and winters ever, and I know a huge part of that is because it's the first seasons that I've actually ever in my life fully embraced my creative passions, and it's made a huge change to my life, and I'm so excited to continue doing that. But because of that, I just want to embrace these last couple of days or weeks of winter before we move into the new season. So this video is going to be full of reading, writing, cozy evenings, maybe going out and about and getting some fresh air as well, just really embracing the last of the winter season. First thing that I want to do is actually go for a walk and get some fresh air because the days are getting longer now, and one of my New Year's resolutions was to watch and listen to more writing content. And whilst I've been doing a lot of watching YouTube content, I have not been listening to enough podcasts, and so I want to listen to some more writing podcasts. So let's go do that as the first thing to embrace the last of winter, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. So that was a really good podcast, especially because they were specifically talking about fantasy and romantasy genres, which is what I'm interested in anyway. And I definitely want to make podcasts a bigger part of my routine, just because as much as I love YouTube content, I love watching vlogs, and also I often use YouTube when I'm specifically researching a certain topic. But I think podcasts are just a great way to get snippets of information and build up your knowledge in smaller ways throughout your days and weeks. And it can just slowly build up your level of knowledge in the craft. And I just want to listen to more podcasts, especially because I do go on quite a few walks. So it's a great way to have that habit with my walks. So that is my plan for the future anyway. And I'm actually in the mood to do a writing sprint, and I'm just going to roll with that creative energy. So I'm going to do one 25-minute writing sprint, and I'm working on chapter 2 at the moment for draft 0. So I want to get a bit more into that chapter, and yeah, let's just get straight to it. On my first attempt of writing chapter 2, I found myself a bit confused in terms of the structure and how it fit into the story properly, as it started to feel a little bit boring and random. So I ended up analysing how this chapter worked with the ones before and after, and jotting down the structure more clearly. This also allowed me to clarify the content I needed to include in this location of Act 1. Once I had done this, I did end up writing for longer than the initial 25-minute sprint, just so I could start putting actual words down. I then decided to leave it there and pick it up on another day so I didn't overwork or frustrate myself. Good morning, everyone. So, a bit of an update for you. Yesterday evening, I spontaneously joined some writing sprints. Essentially, I'm part of a Discord writing server, and there were a couple of people who were on a video call and were doing some sprints. So I managed to join about midway through, and it was so productive and gave me such a boost for a few reasons. Firstly, having writers to talk to specifically about writing and about what you're working on was something that I knew that I wanted to bring into my 2025 because it was something that I felt was missing last year, but I didn't realize how much of an impact it would have on just having people to talk to and like message about your story or about writing in general, and people that share the same passion and interest as you. The second thing was the practice of explaining what my story is about, because it made me actually think about what it's about, and it's also a way to practice your pitch and how you sell your story. The third thing was the two people that were on the sprints. They helped me brainstorm because I mentioned that I was struggling with kind of the magical system in my story, that I was overcomplicating it, that I was kind of going around in circles, and I needed to figure it out before I continued writing the book because otherwise it just wasn't working, things weren't clicking. And they helped me brainstorm for like half an hour the magical systems, and they gave me a few tips on what to look at, and it was just so helpful. It gave me a lot of clarity. I feel so much better now that I can actually get back to the novel, and I feel like I'm in a better place because it's given me a boost. The fact that that is, I wouldn't say solved, but there's a solution for it, because I was really struggling and I didn't realize how much I needed to have a conversation with someone, or two people in this case, about it to help. So that was great. And what I'm actually going to do now is, well, firstly, yesterday when we were on this call and we were brainstorming, I did handwritten notes, which I do love to do when I'm brainstorming, but now I want to clarify those notes and put them onto my Scrivener document. So I want to do that first, and then the second thing that I want to do is figure out what my next steps are. So let's go and do that. Hello, so I sorted out the notes and I put them onto Scrivener, which makes me feel a lot better that they're all in one place and I've kind of organized them a bit better. Now, in terms of my next steps, there's a couple of things that I want to do, but I'm overthinking it again, because essentially one of the things that were mentioned in the brainstorming session yesterday evening was Sanderson's laws of magic. Now, Sanderson is an author, fantasy author, and he basically came up with 3 laws of magic, and these essentially give a base or a foundation to your magical system. You don't need to go like word for word for them, but they just help with setting up that base. And so I want to look at how my world plays into those 3 laws, like what my laws are. And then I also want to look at kind of reviewing the outline that I've done and apply this magical system to that, because I think, well, it is a big chunk of what was missing from the story and why I was struggling to continue writing. After that, I actually want to rework chapter 1, because I realized that there are a couple of magical mentions of magic that actually don't play into this magical system, because I was kind of making up on the go and it didn't work. So I want to do that and then continue with chapter 2 and so on. Now, the thing I'm struggling with is I don't know if doing all of that is actually necessary, or if I'm just doing it as a way to claim to be productive but actually stop myself from writing because it scares me. And because yesterday when I tried to work on chapter 2, I was really, really stuck, and I don't want to get back to that point where I'm stuck again. So I feel like I'm scared to continue writing the draft, and I don't know if my ideas of what my next steps should be, if doing those magical system developments and stuff, if that's necessary, or if it's just an excuse for me to not write. Now, I do think to some extent it is necessary because I do need it for a large chunk of the story. But am I like overthinking how much I need to implement it and how much I need to revise the outline and the other chapters and stuff? Or should I just do a basic understanding of the magical system and get back to writing? I'm really not sure which is the best way to go and how to decipher between whether I actually need to do this and or whether I'm just using it as an excuse. So what I'm actually going to do is give myself a bit of a break. I'm going to spend this evening a cozy winter evening in, which is what the whole vibe of this week is anyway. And I'm just gonna read, I'm gonna have some tea, and I'm just gonna relax. And hopefully tomorrow or in a couple of days when I come back to writing, I will have a fresh brain and I'll actually be able to decipher which avenue to go down, whether I do need to develop the outline and things with the magical system or whether I just go back to writing. So that is where I'm at right now. Oh, I'm reading Fourth Wing because I've seen it a lot, and also the cover is gorgeous, but it's been like I think 6 days since I haven't read a book or had a book to read, which doesn't sound like a lot, but over autumn and winter reading fiction first of all got me back to writing and got me back to this craft, and I love it. And secondly, it gave me an amazing hobby that just made me feel good. Like, it was so fun to just read throughout the past couple of seasons, to read on my commute, to just read on the evenings when I wanted something to do. And not having that for the past week or so has really made me feel a bit empty, which is crazy because I've only really started reading again recently. But yeah, having a book to read again just feels so good. So I want to get back into that again, which is why I think having a cozy reading evening today will be a perfect way to read a bit more and get into my book, and also just give myself a break from the overthinking that I do when I do write. It's actually been a few days since I last spoke to you because I have been trying a new routine where I wake up earlier every day, including the weekends, so that I can get into a better routine on the days that I'm working and so that I don't have to rush in the mornings. And whilst I've enjoyed not rushing the mornings this week, I am exhausted, and I've actually made a homemade mocha because I just need that boost. Anyway, it's Saturday now and we're towards the end of the week. I have not done any writing since I last spoke to you. I have done a little bit of reading and I've enjoyed reading again. However, I've found it a bit of a struggle to get into the book. Nothing against the book. I just feel like every time I try to read, I end up wanting to work on my own project. And whilst I love that I've been excited for it, I then end up not writing on the project, but like doing other brainstorming or like other things rather than actually writing the story. And then I'm not writing or reading. So that's what's been going on the past few days. But I want to do like a collective overview of the week. Firstly, did we embrace winter? Absolutely. All the warm drinks, all the cozy vibes. We made the most out of it with the reading and the writing and doing sprints in the evenings, and it's been great, it's been fun, and also like embracing the writing community that I'm part of has been very enjoyable, and I definitely want to continue that. So I've really enjoyed those aspects of the week. And in terms of my writing itself, I definitely think I need to do a bit more brainstorming before I go back into actually writing the draft, because I just feel like it's a bit all over the place at the moment and it's kind of stressing me out a bit. So what I'm going to be doing is the rest of this week, meaning like today and tomorrow, I will be continuing to finalize this outline in terms of the magical system, and then next week I can pick back up writing the actual draft and just continue through Act 1. That is the plan, which I know I said I wouldn't do, but I realized that I was pressuring myself to write because I thought that's what I should be doing, when in actual fact, brainstorming the magical system is so integral to the story that I need to make sure it's clear in my head and how it fits into the story. So that is something I will be continuing to do. I feel really good about entering the season of spring. I feel more collected in terms of what I want to do. I will probably do a separate video in terms of my goals for the spring season itself, but I feel good with where I am at the project. I do find that I overthink a lot of things, and the overthinking stems from putting a lot of pressure on myself to get things right the first time, which is just not going to happen. And I need to let go of that fear and that pressure in order to just enjoy the whole process so much more. I'm also very much looking forward to continuing to interact with the writing community online, on YouTube, and also just in general in the community Discord server that I'm in. And it's been a lot of fun to just have people to talk to regarding writing, and also ask questions to about resources, about specific writing things, and just general chat as well. So I've been enjoying that too, which is something that I have realized this week. And I think that's it for the updates. I am actually going to end the video here. It's been fun, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, happy writing!